We then cut to the only cool reference in this whole movie, A113, which is an arts classroom at the Cal Arts Institute. This is where they teach all the art and graphic design, where most animators come from and start their careers in the movie industry. It's actually a pretty cool reference, and you see it pretty much constantly in every other animated film in existence. But then they ruin it with the lame Star Trek reference.
Captain Slav, Captain James T.
Just get to the game already. So Labrin and Bugs discuss who they should have for their team while they travel around the serververse, leading them into DC World.
Metropolis. I can't wait to see what I turn into here. Oh, it's gonna be somebody dope.
He turns into Robin. Moving on. The train nearly runs into an orphanage and stopped by the real Superman and the rest of the Justice League, convincing Daffy and Porky to join the basketball team. Next! So they continue to look for new recruits in different worlds. They find Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner and Mad Max, Elmer Fudd and Sylvester and Austin Powers, Yosemite Sam and Casablanca, Taz is dropped off by Rick and Morty, Leghorn in Game of Thrones, and then Granny and Speedy Gonzales in The Matrix. You know, most of these reference kids wouldn't know, but most adults would know more than they would. And this is a kids movie, right? So then why the hell would they reference these products in a kids movie if they only appeal to adults? Oh, I can see now. Oh, they didn't just make this film to advertise as a product. They used this movie to advertise the entire HBO Max streaming platform to get more subscribers, especially for people who actually paid to see this in theaters. And it probably actually worked. It worked for me, kinda. Except I got my subscription because I want to watch all the Studio Ghibli films that are on there, because they're freaking masterpieces. Okay, except for this one. That one can just go die. So their search for new recruits finally brings them to the world of Wonder Woman, where we find Lola Bunnies training with the Amazons. Just get to the goddamn game already. Back at Algie's pad, we see him and Dom playing his video game together. He even goes on to explain how he scanned all the characters from his phone. He even goes to messing around with his phone just to steal the code right in front of them. And Dom just nods off like, yeah, okay, it's cool. And yet another red flag from this guy. And you're still gonna trust him. This is the dumbest kid in the world. Algie then goes on to use Dom's code to live stream an upcoming basketball game for the whole world to see. So we cut back to Labrin coaching the Looney Tunes on how to play basketball, but it doesn't seem to go as planned for him, as they seem to play it their own way. It follows a scene of cartoon antics that go on for way too long, and I wish would just end already so we can just get to the freaking game already.
This isn't real basketball.
But it's fun! You remember fun, don't you, Doc?
Yeah, I do. It involves not watching this movie. So we cut back to Algie and Dom beginning to fix the character that he lost.
You fuck snakes!
So Labrin and the Toons finally get together and make it to Toon World with only an hour to spare. Enough time for last minute practicing.
In and out, crossover, step back.
Let me try.
Get to the f***ing game already. Algie finally makes his appearance, turning everything around them into CG, including the Toons themselves. He even invites all the Warner Brothers characters as spectators.
What's happening?
Algie then brings all of Labrin's followers into the serververse using Dom's tech, including his family, minus Malik. He then announces if they win the game, that they get to leave the serververse, but if they lose, then they're stuck there forever. Algie then announces the Goon Squad, which consists of all players from the charity event that Dom mentioned earlier. Get that thing out of my face, please. Including Labrin's son, Dom.
All these people came here to see you, Dom, and we used your scanning tech to make it happen.
Yeah, you left out the part where they stuck here forever, and apparently your son doesn't really know or care. Your son is an idiot.
Pete's the referee?
Oh, you mad, bro?
And I'm just gonna spoil things a little bit here. The Toon Squad gets their asses handed by them by the Goon Squad in the first half of the game. Because honestly, who cares? Now I'd like to take the time to actually look over the audience here and figure out who should be in the game as opposed to who's actually in the game. So, It's a little game I set up. It's kind of like the mispronunciation game I made for Abaddon. We're going to do the same thing here. And we're just going to imagine what it would be like if those characters who are in the background, the Warner Brothers characters, I mean, and see how they would play out in the game. Oh, and the game is called the characters who should be in this basketball game as opposed to the ones who are in the game. Alright, so we got the Penguin here. He'd be pretty useful in terms of how scary he looks. I mean, I would be scared of that face too. We also got Mr. Smith in the background here as well. He'd be pretty useful because he's in the computer world, and he'd be pretty strong there. He's practically invincible in the computer world, according to the Matrix. I think it's an Amazonian. Should be pretty useful too. What else? Wait, if she's Amazonian, then wouldn't she be cartoon form? I don't know. Whatever. And then there's Pennywise here. He can turn pretty much any fear that one may have into an ever-living nightmare and manifest it into an actual monster on its own. So that would be pretty useful in the court. I don't know why he wasn't invited in the game. It's just a goddamn spectator, but whatever. I can see the Wicked Witch of the West here too. I know it might be foggy for some of you. Let me full screen that. You can see the black hat there. Sorry if it's 360p. That's what I can. That's all my computer can handle. So I'm sorry if it doesn't really seem that way. But I assure you that is the Wicked Witch of the West. You can see the black hat here. A little bit of a green. It's a bit dark, but it's there. Wait to play it. Yeah, say it. Yeah, see, it's there. It's there. There. See, I wasn't lying to you. See, that's how you know you can trust me. I'm a man of my word. Also, Mr. Freeze. Yeah, he could freeze people up, I guess. If he's allowed to bring his gun on the court, then yeah. Also, that face is hilarious too. That's a bit all I can see here. So let's just move on. Let's see. Oh, there's that one guy from Mad Max, I think. One of those Witness Me guys. I don't know. I don't think that's him. I haven't seen Mad Max in a while, so don't quote me on that. Let's see what else we got. Oh, that guy. Oh, the ape thing would be pretty cool to see. I don't even know where this thing is from. Is that King Shark, or is it's probably that shark thing from that Hanna-Barbera cartoon? I remember. I think that's where it's from. I don't know. Let's move on here. Excuse me. Oh, it was a mask. Oh, the mask guy. He'll be. Oh, he'd pretty much be on the same caliber as the Looney Tunes would. It'd be pretty hilarious to see how they combat with each other with their cartoony antics. It'd be pretty funny. But this movie isn't creative, so whatever. What else? There's Scooby-Doo Mystery Gang. I don't know how much useful they have. I don't know how much use they would have really. Yeah, what else is there? There's a Joker. I mean, he'd be cool, I guess. I mean, it's a Joker. He can't really. He's psychotic and pretty insane and has a good sense of humor, or a dark sense of humor, I should say. But I don't know what much else he can do with that. So let's just move on here. No, click on the. Okay, there we go. Oh, is that the nun? That's the Conjuring nun? Oh, she'd be pretty useful too. That'd be pretty awesome. Alright, her and Pennywise just kind of get together and just fucking blasting them like with their scares and all that. I mean, it'd be jump scare-ish, but you know, it'd be annoying. But it'd also be annoying to the characters too. It'd just be a satire on that whole shtick with horror movies. Okay, what else we got? I'm not seeing anything else here, so I think we'll just move on from there. I think these are the guys from Game of Thrones. I haven't seen it yet. Sorry for sounding like an uncultured swine, but I haven't. I'm sorry. But yeah, these guys would be pretty useful. Why? Game of Thrones, for Christ's sake, they should not be spectators. Okay, King Kong and Iron Giant are pretty obvious. And then there's Space Ghost just flying around. It's like, I want to play. Yeah, so do I, dude. So do I. I mean, so do I want you to play. Oh, there's Alex and the dudes from Clockwork Orange. They'd have as much use as a Joker, honestly, so I don't really see where that go. What else? It's just blah. Alright, what the hell? These guys are here? Why are they here? Okay, whatever. Alright, that's part 1 of the game. Alright, so back to the movie. The Toon Squad reach halftime and are down a crap ton of points, and struggle to figure out why they're failing so hard. Until...
But I found Michael Jordan! He was in the audience! I know he can help!
He found Michael B. Jordan instead. For God's sake, why are these jokes so predictable and lame? Like, I came up with this joke when I was 17 years old. That was 10 years ago. I came up with that joke 10 years ago. 2021 supposedly professional film acts like they came up with it first, thinking that, oh, this is so clever. It's like they dragged this on so long thinking that it was actually funny. Like just get the next scene. This is the part where Laban finally realizes that the tactics that they were using before weren't exactly working, and that they try to find a new tactic. And goes on to say what they said earlier in the movie, "You never let me just do me." Whoa, no, really? You don't say. This is like the dumb realization that Rue from Euphoria went through, when she realized that she didn't have to do drugs to help cope with the loss of her father.
My dad died, everybody would tell me that he died for a reason. Oh, that shit used to piss me off. I would literally want to fucking strangle him. But I think what they're actually saying is that you gotta give it a reason. You gotta give all this shit a reason.
You don't freaking say. Alright, let's get back to the game. Not the basketball game, the game we were playing earlier. Alright, so we're back here. Still not paying attention to the game because I still don't care. If you can see like the rough silhouette here, I'll probably close it in post. Those are the Animaniacs there, sitting on the UFO. Again, competing with the antics of the Looney Tunes would actually be pretty funny. Alright, so we ran out of characters from the movies, so we're just gonna pull off everything we see here on this roster here. We got Freddy Krueger here. He can seep into anyone's dreams and makes him a living nightmare, so that would work perfectly as a participant. There's Gandalf the Wise. That would work pretty well. Samurai Jack would work because he got a magic sword. Anyone from Hogwarts. I see 3 of them right here. Rick Sanchez. Okay, that'll work. Ice King. Insane, but would still be a good participant. He knows basketball at least. Let's see what else. Voldemort. Oh, that's a good one. I think I saw him in the movie too, but I don't feel like backtracking right now. I'm really tired. I just want to finish this review. The Grim Reaper will work. Yeah, you know what? That's about it. Alright, there's a movie I have to review. Okay. Toon Squad wins the game, everybody goes home, Laban gets his son back, reunites with his family at home, Bugs Bunny dies, but then he doesn't really die, and then comes back to life in our world, and hangs out with Laban, along with the rest of the team. The end. Okay, so the reason why I skimmed through that entire last part of the film is because I don't really care about what's going on. Because the movie doesn't give me a reason to care about what's going on. It doesn't care about developing the story or developing the characters who are involved, and is more focused on its commercializing agenda. You see movies like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Wreck-It Ralph, or even the Lego Movie. There are references in pop culture all throughout, but what makes them such great films is that they're packed with great stories and well-written characters that you can easily identify and relate to. And the references only pop up when they're significant to the plot. For each movie, they show up in different parts within the story. Like, for example, Wreck-It Ralph, the licensed characters only show up in the beginning of the film, but they don't show up for the rest of it, based on what they do with the story. And then in the Lego Movie, they don't show up until the middle of the second act. And then they're gone as well to help the main character in the climax of the story. And in Roger Rabbit, they're almost all the way through because, well, they're in Hollywood. It makes sense for the cartoons to actually be present in that sort of environment. But what all 3 of those movies have in common is that they put so much effort into making sure that those licensed characters are in the background so that the audience doesn't get distracted from the actual story at hand, and therefore people can enjoy them for the instant classics that they are. And that's what Space Jam 2 fails to do. And that's why I always call it a product, because it's more catering to the products that already exist as opposed to the story that it's actually trying to tell, or just lack of telling, I should say. This movie isn't a movie, it's a product, as I said earlier in the video. Don't waste your time with this piece of crap, especially if the movie's not going to give you any time to care. And that's why I consider this movie a lost cause. And that's the end of the video. If you tuned in for the whole thing, thank you so much for doing so. I'll see you guys in the next one. But don't expect to wait too long, because I'm only doing this part-time.
Today, it's my time to shine.
Who does this guy think he is? Huh? Rejecting me? Humiliating me?
Right this way, King James.
No, he's not getting that elevator.
No. All that pointing and aggression.
Oh, they're alive! Alive!
Got some VIPs coming in.
What a twist! Go, the king! Roadrunner smoke screen! It's the oldest trick in the book! Make a coffee! Ah!
What do you mean what's wrong? They're catching up.
Dang time. What in the AARP is going on out here?
Move down. Then we could all sit on the bench. Let's all sit on the bench.